remember kindergarten?
They were days of learning and fun.
Making new friends and trying new things.
Figuring out how school worked. And most importantly, figuring out who we were. When we were in kindergarten, we buried a time capsule. Filled with our most precious memories. Now, in 5th grade, we are digging it up to see what mattered to us then and what it means to us now. Are you ready?
This is gonna be awesome. When you dig up old things, sometimes they're worth a lot.
Oh no, what happened to it?
Water must have leaked in and destroyed everything inside it.
Almost everything.
This is horrible. We've waited 5 years to see what we buried, and this is what we find?
I don't even remember what was inside the time capsule. Do any of you?
Now we'll never know. Too much time has passed.
Time? Did someone say time? What did we miss?
Why are you two always late for class? And why do you look like you're up to something?
We're working on a important project.
So were we. But look, everything inside it is ruined.
We might as well forget it.
We may have a way.
What are you guys doing?
You know how we've been staying in for recess all year?
Let me guess. You've been working on some top secret science experiment.
What is it? This!
That's an elevator.
But this isn't just a regular elevator. Here, I'll show you. 3, 2, 1! Mr. Ball, we weren't, expecting you. We were,
Using the elevator to measure speed, velocity, and area?
Well, make sure you're done by dismissal because at 3:30 we're shutting the elevator off.
Wait, what? Why?
Well, we've been noticing some weird electrical fluctuations in the elevator lately, so we gotta shut it down and inspect it. Good luck with your homework.
As I was saying, this isn't just a regular elevator.
It's a time machine! What is this, a joke?
You expected us to believe that?
You guys, look! I just noticed something strange. Kylie and I are in the kindergarten photo. How is that possible? Remember, me and Crystal weren't at Sageville for kindergarten. But there we are in your class photo.
That really doesn't make any sense.
It makes perfect sense. Let's try this again. I've reset the time mechanism. 3, 2, 1! Hey, Colton. Hey, buddy. I'm Colton from tomorrow. I came back here to yesterday to prove that this is a real time machine. So, what's the future like? Futuristic, but no flying cars yet. Okay, thanks, Colton from tomorrow. Adios, amigo. Have fun on your field trip.
That was creepy.
I have so many questions.
This is the answer. This is how we figure out what's in the time capsule.
I think I get what Kelsey's saying.
Right. We use the elevator to travel back to kindergarten.
And then we'll remember what we put in the time capsule.
There is one small problem, and I do mean small. How are we all gonna fit in that elevator?
Yeah, it would be a bit cozy.
No problem. We can split into groups. Yeah, and each group could go to a different time during the school year.
Sure, like the first day of school,
Applesauce Day.
the 100th day of school, and so on. Then we'll all meet back here in an hour to share what we learned.
Why an hour? You heard Mr. Ball. The elevator will be shut down at 3:30.
We have to return by then, or else.
Or else what? We'll be trapped in the past and never able to return.
I'm guessing that's not good.
Oh no, here comes Miss Mac.
What's going on here, 5th graders?
We're going to be in so much trouble.
Stay calm. I know just how to handle this. Good afternoon, Miss Mack. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Well, thank you, Allie. I am. Because I have my coffee, everything is A-OK.
As long as she has her coffee, she's in a good mood.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Let's go back to kindergarten.
Yeah!
Wait! One more thing. Time travel is very dangerous. We can't change the past in any way, or it could have a ripple effect that alters history and disrupts the space-time continuum. Haven't you seen Back to the Future?
Okay. We get it. We have to be careful.
What could possibly go wrong? Instead of going up or down like a regular elevator, we'll go 5 years into the past, back when we were in kindergarten. Now entering the time coordinates for 5 years into the past.
Time traveling gives me a stomach ache.
Where are we?
Don't you mean, when are we?
Oh my gosh! Look! The first day of kindergarten!
Things haven't changed that much, well, except us.
We were so, well, short.
Don't forget why we're here. We have to figure out what was put in the time capsule.
Let's follow her inside.
Oh my gosh, I remember these rooms.
Is that you with your name tag on your nose?
Shh, Mrs. Pape is taking attendance.
Okay, let's check Ella.
Ella in the pink?
Ella, did you bring a lunch, or did you just bring a snack, sweetie? A snack? Chase, you brought a snack, not a lunch. Okay, you can sit.
Good morning, Sageville School. This is Miss Mack with the morning announcements. It's Tuesday, August 20th. Here's what's happening today at Sageville. It's the first day of school. Welcome back to all of our students and staff, and all of our new students and staff.
Remember, it's very important we keep a low profile. Hang on a sec. Colton, I bet you're really excited about starting kindergarten, huh? I probably shouldn't be talking to you right now, but you'll probably forget about this whole thing by lunch. Hey, what's your favorite thing to eat for lunch?
What's my favorite thing for lunch?
Oreo cookies. I like Oreos too. You don't know this yet, but you're gonna bury a time capsule, and then you're gonna dig it up.
I think that when we dig out the time capsule, it's gonna be a long, long time before we dig it up.
You'd be surprised how quickly it'll get here. Time flies. What do you think you'll be like in 5th grade?
I think I might be kind of tall. And when I'm in 5th grade, I'm gonna be really old.
Not that old. Okay, I gotta go. Mallory's group should be the next to arrive.
According to the time machine, we've arrived at noon.
Just in time for recess. Awesome!
Climbing those balls is really tough. They always seem so far out of reach. It's a lot easier now. Have you seen more flying go? I think they lost more flying.
We don't want to be too visible. Let's go sit under the slide.
Recess was the best.
What would we have put in the time capsule?
A basketball wouldn't fit. Neither would a hula hoop.
How do you put all the fun we had at recess into a time capsule?
Kindergarten. Both kindergarten classes are together. Mrs. Pape's class and Mrs. Foley's class. We're all here to have our picture taken together. Are you ready for some smiles? Okay, what do we need to do?
Awesome. Keep smiling. Keep smiling.
It's late September and this was an important day.
It was the day that they took their class picture.
Well, hello. Can we help you with something?
No, don't worry about us. We're just watching.
I can't see what's going on. Well, let's just step a little closer.
Fifth graders, out of the picture. Thank you.
Oops, sorry, ma'am.
We just solved another mystery from the time capsule.
Oh, that's how we ended up in the class photo. Ah, I blinked.
We checked in the kindergarten classrooms. Nobody's there. Where could they be?
Shh, I hear footsteps.
They almost stepped on us.
go? They must be going back to their room.
Hurry, we gotta talk to them before the teachers see us.
Kids, hold on. We gotta talk to you.
Who are you?
We're older than you, so you have to listen to us.
What's your name?
Secret Agent, LW. What? I'm just trying to be incognito.
Well, you're not that neato.
Do I know you from somewhere?
No, you've never seen me before. You will forget this conversation.
What, are you using some kind of Jedi mind trick?
You look very old.
Well, that's just rude.
What do you want?
What did you put in the time capsule?
I don't know.
This is getting frustrating. We're not getting any answers.
They're just kindergartners. What did you expect?
I love kindergarten. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Now I understand why my teacher had gray hair.
You're weird.
Kids these days.
Hey there, little people. Do you know us?
Are we related?
I'm your long-lost cousin. That's why we look so much alike.
You go to school here? You need our help?
Trust me, we need lots of help.
Why are you acting so weird?
We're doing, homework, and we're running out of time. These kids don't know anything about the time capsule.
I think it's outside. Yeah, I think we buried it out there.
Why do you need it anyway?
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Uh-oh, we've got a problem. If they already buried it, we went too far in the past.
You mean we didn't go far enough?
Time travel is trickier than I thought. Let's get back to the elevator.
So tell us about your time capsule. I never heard of that before.
Callie, what about you?
Don't ask me, I'm just a kid. Micah, I'm sure you were paying attention. Can you tell us?
I don't know.
It looks like I just got a haircut. Wonder when the last time I got a haircut was.
Why are you here?
We're looking for some things that were special to us. I mean, special to you. You put them in a time capsule. Come on, JD. Think, boy. Where are all the things you put in it?
I have no idea.
I've just confused myself.
Me too. I think I sprained my brain. Well, at least these kids are polite.
How old are you? Are you 50 or something?
Get some manners. Do I look that old? Well, there's a wrinkle kind of there.
Come on, JD, let's go.
Seeing myself at 5 years old, I really appreciate my parents even more.
Same. They really deserve a raise.
Yeah. So, do I really look that old?
Well, there is a gray hair right there.
Seriously? Applesauce day. That was so much fun.
Looks like it. Everybody's smiling.
Should I give him a pair of scissors to play with?
No, that's a bad idea.
stomach is growling.
Mine too. Too bad there's nothing to eat.
We can't just walk over there and eat their applesauce. Besides, it's little kids making it. How good could it be?
Why not? Time travelers have to eat too, you know.
Good point.
I'll print it over here.
It's even better than I remember.
Wow, this is the best applesauce I've ever had.
Look, if we happen to run into kindergartners, that's fine. We just have to avoid running into our younger selves.
Why is that?
Fifth graders, quiet, you're in the library.
Remember what Colton said? We can't change history. And running into ourselves would be the worst thing that could possibly happen.
The worst thing that could possibly happen just happened.
Kelsey, what did you do today? Nothing.
What an amazing coincidence. We might as well ask ourselves a few questions. Hold up, you guys.
Do you go to school here?
We do. We're fifth graders.
Why are you here?
We're on a scavenger hunt, sort of.
What are you looking for? Do you need our help?
That would be awesome.
Are we related?
You could say that.
Stop changing history. Remember the ripple effect? Whatever that is?
Don't worry. He doesn't understand. I barely understand.
Okay, kids, you should get back to class or you'll get in trouble.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Trouble. Wait a minute, I remember. There was a day in kindergarten, I was late for class and I got in trouble.
And
I remember an older girl talking to me in the library. Oh my gosh, I just got myself in trouble.
There we are! My mother always told me how cute I was, but I never imagined I was this cute.
Oh, brother.
Let's go talk to him.
Hey, kindergartners.
Why are you here?
We're looking for something.
What are you looking for? Aren't you just adorable?
Get over it.
We're looking for special memories that you put into a time capsule.
Do you need our help? Actually, you need my help, kid. So listen up. When you get to fifth grade, there will be a really hard math test.
Huh?
Make sure you study, okay? And the answer to number 6 is 824.
We gotta go.
Wait, come back.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Seriously, Connor? Seriously?
You're using time travel to cheat on a math test?
What? It is a really hard test.
You can't change that test because we can't change history, remember?
Aw, don't worry about it. I probably won't listen to myself.
It's freezing out here.
Well, why didn't you bring a hat?
I don't know. Maybe I didn't know that we were time traveling to winter today.
long it took us to put on our snow pants?
Almost the entire recess.
Look at those angels.
Well, we weren't that perfect.
No, snow angels.
I love making snow angels. Hey, look, two big fifth graders.
Hi, guys. Watch out, they see us.
Whoa.
Who are you kids?
Oh, hey. We're trying to dig up some buried treasure. Technically, that's not a lie.
Do you want us to dig?
Sure, that'd be great.
Here, I'll help you dig. Let's dig right here. Guys, watch out. Let's dig. I got to dig.
You do realize they're not digging in the right place.
Yeah, I know, but it keeps them out of trouble.
Dig. Keep digging and sample. What are we digging for?
Just keep digging. You need to burn off some energy. Trust me, your teachers will thank us.
What? I found diamonds! Everybody shoot again! Found diamonds!
Remember what you said earlier? Sometimes when you dig up something, it's worth a lot. I think you were right. Don't give up. It's important to learn to be persistent and don't quit.
Alright, Kylie, I'm coming.
Don't whack it.
No, put the head on. I already did. I will. Hear me falling. Keep coming. We're shaving it. It's time to go in. We gotta go. We're not going. No busting in our snowman. It's time to go in. But don't whack it. You don't want to whack it.
Tomorrow I am.
We need to make a snow hat and put it on there. Yeah, where's the hat? I'll put my hat on it. Yeah, that's awesome.
The snowman looks good with my hat.
Hey, we got a hat on it. Recognize mine. Put the hat on.
Thanks, Mini-Me.
You just took a stocking cap from a kindergartner? That's cold, man.
I'm cold. Besides, it's mine. I mean, it was mine.
Now your younger self is going to be freezing at recess and his ears will turn to icicles and probably fall off. Do you want your ears to fall off?
Plus, it can't change history. That hat goes back where you found it. Aw, now I'm cold again.
Had to wait 5 years. I'm knocking it over. Adios, snowman.
It's the 100th day of school.
We did a lot of fun things that day.
Here, put these on. We have to blend it. Are you serious? This is super dumb.
This is so embarrassing.
Isn't it weird? 100 days isn't really that much, but back then it felt like forever.
Probably because when you're 5, 100 days is a bigger percentage of your life. Now that we're older, it seems like a really small amount.
Hey, cool. Math.
It really does come in handy. Who knew? Hey! Hey, 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 hey. Wait, not orange. What? Are you serious talking about? I don't want it. Does it go like this?
But I am going to hang it out in the hall first. I'm going to hang it out in the hall first. You need to please go put it in there. Oh my goodness.
I think that could use a little more blue.
Whatever made you think of that.
Thank you.
Chris, I am full on 100 days of kindergarten.
Day crown. Brandon, where did you go? Come sit down. Quickly, we only have a little bit of time.
Look, we're gonna recite our poem. 100 is a lot.
Are you ready? Here we go. You have to say the title first. 100 is a lot. 100 dogs, 100 cats, 100 heads for 100 hats. Yay!
In a few minutes, we need to go to lunch. So green table, bathroom and lunches, please.
That's our cue to leave.
Look, it's gym! My favorite class.
I'm a little more coordinated now than I was back then.
Me too. Thank you. I got it.
Look at those future NBA stars.
Come on, we really had no idea what we were doing. Here you go, kid.
Wow, you're really good.
Thanks, little dude. Just keep practicing. One day, he'll be just as good as me. Here, Cassidy, catch.
Thanks.
Aww. Oh no, there's only 30 minutes before dismissal.
We're running out of time. I didn't think you could run out of time if you had a time machine.
No kidding.
If my calculations are correct, it's mid-April. We're getting closer to when they bury the time capsule.
You better pay attention. Sageville School.
Hey there, little buddy. Isn't kindergarten great? What do you like best about it?
The best thing was going outside in the snow,
Yeah, that was fun. What's the worst thing?
doing lots and lots of work.
What kind of work?
It was difficult cutting.
I'm sure you'll get better at using those scissors as your hands get bigger. Anything else?
It was difficult staying in the lines. So I tried and I did it.
I don't really know what we're gonna put in it.
Uh-oh, broken alert.
Where did you come from?
Same place you came from.
Are you lost?
We will be if we don't get back by 3:30. Maybe this isn't such a good idea.
I don't want to be trapped back here in kindergarten. I'd be stuck playing Minecraft instead of Fortnite.
There's not enough time. You should probably go back.
We can't give up now. I think what we're doing is so important. Maybe one of the most important things we'll ever do here. Everything that's happened from kindergarten to 5th grade, it all comes down to this. We don't have a choice. It's time to figure this out. But the clock is ticking.
What's going on here?
I don't know how to say this, but we're from the the future.
You gotta be kidding me.
Hey, little Frank, what are you doing right now in class?
I don't know.
They're getting out their pencils. It looks like they're doing some kind of writing assignment.
This is awesome. Yeah. I'm writing, I'm making a list.
Look at the board. We lucked out. We're gonna find out what's inside the time capsule.
What do you think you want me to say for it?
Dinosaur? How do you spell bubble? How do you spell bubble?
B? I don't know. Bubble! You sound it out.
What are you putting in the time capsule?
Fun things. Smiley face. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We'll put lots of things in the time capsule.
Put it on the table.
You're funny, Wyatt.
Landon's funnier.
The time capsule's gonna be awesome. I'm writing what I'm gonna put in the time capsule. We're gonna put all our favorite things in there.
What do you think we should put in the time capsule, Elizabeth? What the heck is that?
It's me getting ice cream out.
What are they saying? I can't hear. There's too much noise. Why did we talk so much?
That's the real question, isn't it?
Come on, we gotta go. It's time for recess. They're leaving. Sammy, grab the paper.
Dinosaurs?
Hugs.
Unicorns? Bubbles?
Rainbows?
So much for that big idea. Aw, look how good my handwriting was.
I did not come to play, I came to dominate. I did not come to play, I came to dominate.
Gosh, field day was so much fun.
Yeah, but I think the teachers look a little too excited to be playing dodgeball against the kindergartners.
Yeah, can you blame them?
Yeah, it's a long school year. Cut them some slack.
Please don't ever fix your mouth to try to diss them. I can rearrange your teeth like novice dentist. Snap like Thanos.
Good throw, Micah. Wish we could stay here, play dodgeball forever.
But we only have 15 minutes left.
Time flies when you're having fun.
I should have been a dancer.
This ain't even a game, it's a dinner date. Crush my competition.
Look at me. I was so good at dodgeball. I was so lightning quick. I never got hit.
Hey, Shorty. Bet you can't hit me.
Oh! Yes!
Whoa. We're only in 5th grade, but I'm starting to forget what happened in kindergarten.
We did a lot, but it's getting kind of fuzzy in my memory.
Just imagine when we're adults. How much will we remember then?
Can you believe this is our last year of elementary school?
I'm kind of nervous about starting middle school.
Me too. But I bet we were nervous when we started kindergarten. That turned out okay. Oh, cool. I'm gonna see if I can find my favorite coat that I wore in kindergarten.
Hey, look at this. Aw, our hands were so small.
We would have forgotten so much, but now we'll remember all of this, the rest of our lives. Guys, help?
I don't think that fits you anymore, Sully.
Come on, I think they're about to start.
Whoa, what's happening? We're reading something out loud.
Oh, I remember now. It's our top 10 kindergarten memories.
Aw, we were so cute.
I still am. Thank you very much.
Now we would like to share our top 10 list of our favorite kindergarten memories. Number 10.
Zero the Hero.
Number 9.
Legos.
Number 8.
Polar Express.
Number 7.
Stations.
Number 6.
Applesauce Day.
Number 5.
PE.
Number 4.
Art class.
Number 3.
100th Day.
Number 2.
Arboretum.
Ooh, I wonder what number 1 will be.
The tension is driving me crazy.
Whose idea were the tambourines? It's giving me a headache.
And now, our favorite, number 1.
Iowa City field trip.
That was a fun trip. Yeah, Landon sat on my notebook.
I wonder how the others are doing.
There's only one other group out there. You know what day they're traveling to?
The last day of kindergarten.
The day we buried the time capsule.
Buried it the morning of our last day of kindergarten. Now the time capsule sits there for 5 years until we dig it up in 5th grade.
Which we did this morning. My head already hurts thinking about it.
I like visiting kindergarten again. It helped me remember, and it was cool seeing all the good memories.
We've been through a lot together.
But I wouldn't want to stay here. I miss 5th grade. I miss not knowing what's going to come next.
You're right, Annalise. Let's go home.
See you later, kindergartners.
Why do you have to go?
Because if 2 of me came home from school, my parents would have a fit.
We'll miss you a lot. Don't go.
Go? Wait a minute. We have a big problem. Even though all of our classmates are spread out around the school year at different points in time, we're all trying to get back to the present at the same time.
I don't get it.
Have you ever been to a crowded building and everyone's trying to get on the elevator at the same time? That's what I'm afraid of.
It's only 9 o'clock here, but it's 3:25 in our time. We better hurry.
Sorry, Miss Mac. Sorry, but I gotta go. I gotta go. Who's that girl? She looks just like me.
We don't have time. Come on, let's go. Oh no, it's not opening. We're gonna be trapped in the past if we don't get back in time.
Who are those big kids?
I don't know.
Come on. Why won't it open?
What's your hurry?
Well, we're kind of under a deadline.
Don't go.
Stay with us.
You don't have to go.
Don't go.
We don't want you to leave.
But our job here is finished. We came to see the time capsule.
It has a bunch of neat stuff in it.
Where are you going?
We may not be going anywhere if this elevator doesn't open fast.
Yes!
It was nice to meet you.
It was nice meeting you again.
Thanks for stopping by. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.
Haley and Allison, see you in 5 years.
More like see you in 5 minutes if this thing works.
You're really cool.
And you're gonna grow up to be just like me.
Will I see you again?
I promise, you will.
Yes.
With only 2 minutes to spare, we cut that pretty close.
Miss Mac, why are you...
Miss Smack!
That's what I said, Miss Mac.
Miss Smack!
Did she actually say Miss Smack?
Hey, Mr. Mock and Miss Willenberg, where are you going? Do we have extra recess?
Recess? There is no recess.
We stopped doing recess years ago! Now march!
What's happened here? It all looks so dark and scary. We were only gone an hour.
No, we were gone 5 years.
Oh no. What have we done? It's what I warned you about. The ripple effect. We've ruined everything. We should never have gone back in time.
This can't be. What's happened to Sageville?
We did something in the past, changed something, and it changed history.
What could it have been?
And how can we fix it? Wait, Callie bumped into Miss Mac, spilled her coffee, remember?
What difference does that make?
How could that one small mistake change everything?
But think about it. She didn't have her coffee, and that changed everything. For all we know, she was grumpy talking to teachers that day. Maybe she yelled at them, which would have made them mean too. The ripple effect, multiply that by 5 years, and Sageville School is no longer the great place we remember. It's replaced by this evil, nasty, Rageville? The time capsule is still where we left it. So, how did we change history?
I know! Quick, where's the nearest coffee shop?
My coffee!
Sorry, Miss Mac. Sorry, but I gotta go.
What am I gonna do without my coffee? I'm gonna be grumpy all day.
Here, Miss Mac.
Oh, thank you. I don't know what I would have done without this today.
Oh, I do. Why isn't it changing back? Oh no, it's after 3:30. That means the elevator is shut down. It's all over. Nothing's left but the memories. Memories. I remember when I was in kindergarten, I was eating a sub sandwich, and my tooth came out. Miss Mac had to dig it out, but it was loaded with ketchup.
When I was in 2nd grade, I was eating lunch and milk blew out of my nose and there was a puddle and there was a lot of milk.
I remember in 3rd grade, I picked up a crayfish, got scared, and threw it across the room.
This trip down memory lane is fine, but it doesn't change the fact that we can't time travel anymore.
No, we can't. But memories can. Memories travel through time. This isn't the time capsule. We are.
normal again.
So, students, what have we learned from this field trip through time?
There were so many things that could have gone into this time capsule.
Does it really matter what was inside?
Yeah, the things inside it were just things.
And those things helped us to remember. Those memories are what's most important. The time capsule wasn't big enough. We have too many good memories to fit inside it. We don't need this time capsule because we have something better. We don't have to bury our memories. We get to take them with us. Memories travel through time. Small memories that matter and make us the people we are.
Memories of sunshine on the playground. Stretching for things we can't quite reach.
Until one day, we can.
Laughter and smiles. And above all, the things we learned and the friendships we made.
These things and so many more we remember. Too many good memories to fit inside a time capsule. So instead, we carry them with us, not buried in the soil, but cherished in our hearts.
As we head into the next chapter of our lives to discover what comes next.
It's a pretty long-range plan because what we're doing is the kids that are kindergartners this year in 2013, 2014, when they become 5th graders, they're going to do this project where they time travel back and interact with themselves as kindergartners. Voila. And we actually won't complete this project for about 5 years. That's a long ways away, isn't it? Can you guys believe that?
No.
5 years! Do you know what grade you're going to be in 2019?
What?
You're going to be in 5th grade. 5th grade. What do you think Mr. Dyer is going to look like in 5 years?
An old grandpa?
An old grandpa. Well, that's possible, I suppose. Thank you, JD. Yeah, so our movie, you're going to be talking to yourself when you're in 5th grade. Doesn't that sound kind of weird? How are we going to do that, do you think? I'm not sure either.
Well, it was a challenge, but it was definitely worth it in the end.
Yeah. I loved making the movie.
We're special, I guess, that we get to do this. Like, not everybody gets to be in a movie. I mean,
When they're
even
in 5th grade. We hold the memories, so we're like a time capsule because we're holding memories.
The Time Capsule was a project that spanned 6 years. I had had this idea for a long while, using a movie to show how children age over time. It was really just a matter of deciding which group of 5th graders would be in the movie. So on August 20th, 2013, the first day of kindergarten for this group of students, I committed to the idea and began filming scenes with them. So I was working on the Time Capsule on and off whenever I had time. As part of what I do at Sageville, I was recording school events anyway, such as the 100th day of school, Applesauce Day, and so on. So I took the time to record video with the movie in mind, leaving open places for future 5th graders to walk or stand or interact. With Miss Foley and Mrs. Pape's cooperation, I was also able to pull a few students at a time and record them against a green screen and in other backdrops. Now at the time, I didn't even have a script or a story, just the vague idea that the kindergartners were going to bury a time capsule, dig it up in 5th grade, then time travel back to kindergarten to learn more. So I had the kindergartners give a variety of facial expressions and short dialogue that I would hopefully be able one day to write a story around. So over the course of their kindergarten school year, I recorded approximately 6 hours of video. At the end of the year, I set the footage aside and then waited. Flash forward to their 5th grade school year, and now it was time to complete the project we had started years earlier. Now older, the students did a wonderful job of using their imaginations to pretend they were talking to their younger selves or witnessing events from the past. I asked a lot of these students, and they were put in some challenging situations, but they did a fantastic job. This then is a record of how the project was created. You're going to see some behind-the-scenes footage from kindergarten and from 5th grade. I've made many student films over the years, but this one was certainly the most challenging and the most time-consuming. We will never again do a project like this, and I hope that the Time Capsule holds meaning for students and families. Personally, I'm relieved that we were able to get this across the finish line, to complete a promise we made all those years ago. Yeah, that's okay. Try it again. You say, you want to spit your gum out, Teddy?
What do I say?
You say, I've never heard of that before.
I never heard of that before.
And then, Jensen,
What?
you look at me and you say, you look really old.
You look really old.
Okay, now, let's try it again. Only this time, JD, I'm going to have you face here.
All right.
And Lily, I'm going to have you like right there. And we'll have you facing the camera.
Christmas?
What's that?
I'm facing that right here.
Yeah, you're looking right in the camera, aren't you? But you're going to look up at me.
All right.
Okay, so instead of looking in here, I need you to look up at me. Can you guys handle that?
Yeah.
Go. Back at me. I've never heard of that before.
What?
You're supposed to say, I've never heard of that before.
We're going to make a video.
Yep, we're working on a video right now.
How old are you? Like 45 or something? OnlyFans?
You're making up some stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
Good. Now, Annalise,
Just
you're
to
gonna.
make the video a little funny.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Okay, Landon, you try it once.
You're weird.
Look at me.
You're weird. Weird pants.
Ava, you try it.
You're weird. I said weirdy pants, weird.
All right, now.
Weirdy pants.
Who made you laugh? Stop laughing.
All right. Now the next line. Oh, don't look at the camera. That was pretty good. Let's try it again. A little bit more to do yet.
Oh,
All right, ready?
Do we have to like flip over?
No, you're not.
Do
Flip, flip over.
Do a backflip?
No, you don't have to flip over. Why would you have to flip over? That's weird.
No, jump.
All right, here we go.
Buddy.
Ready, action.
Do you go to school here?
Louder.
Do you go to school here?
No. You have to sound really nice, but I just want you to be a little bit louder for me. Okay, on the bench. Now they're really not going to be there, but I want you to pretend that they sit down, and I want you to pretend they're about as tall as me. Okay, so first turn and look at each other, and turn. Turn. Good job. Let's try it again. That was great. Okay, Allie, you want to say that line, honey?
Are you related?
Say, are we related?
Are we related? Are we related?
Wait, let's have Allie do it again.
Are we related?
I've got Elizabeth here. How you doing, Elizabeth?
Good.
I hear that today is your birthday. How old are you today?
6.
6 years old. And what's going on with your leg?
It's broken.
You got a broken leg. And you're still able to film a movie? You must be pretty awesome. Give me 5. It is May 22nd, 2014. Mr. Ball and I are about to dig a hole in the ground for a movie that won't be finished for 5 more years. Just another day at Sageville Elementary School. All right, so here they come. We're about ready to do the digging scene. Okay. So, all right, ready, and action.
Working on mine. I know. My broken door.
Look.
Sorry, honey.
What are you guys doing?
Miss Dyer dug a hole.
You dug a hole?
On.
What is he doing?
We're making a movie.
What are we going to bury?
A time capsule.
Not a time travel,
Time
a time
machine.
capsule. And what are you going to put in it, kindergarten?
I don't know.
They don't know yet.
How exciting. I know. Like pictures of us.
Really? Pictures of us, that's right. How deep is the hole?
I don't know.
Probably really. What do you do with a time capsule?
Right, like 5 inches. We're carrying it.
When do you think you'll dig it up?
And when we're in 5th grade.
grade.
That's right, Landon, when we're in 5th grade. Oh my goodness.
I
told them to.
I'll be here in 5 years.
We'll miss you a lot.
Good. Try it again.
Fudge ball.
No, don't say fudge ball. Try it again.
We'll miss you a lot.
Good.
Fudge ball.
No, don't say fudge ball. Look right here at the camera. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me just double check. Okay. Now, we're not finished. Hold that pose. I'm going to start with them, and you guys are all going to look at your teachers. Don't look at me. I'm going to start on you, and I'm going to come over like this. So you've got the camera ready, Miss Foley. And action. Turn.
Oh, can I help you?
Okay. Let's try it again. That was pretty good. What's your name?
Kyle.
No, I want you to say, what's your name?
What's your name?
Are you guys ready?
Yes.
And how about this? To start with, why don't you just stand there and pretend like you're talking to each other, okay?
I need to go potty.
Can you wait just a minute?
No.
So it is, what day is it?
Monday.
But what's special about today?
Because it's the last day of school.
It's the last day of kindergarten. It is June 9th, 2014, and we are still working on our movie. And we're going to get a few more scenes filmed on the last day of kindergarten. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yay! Are you ready to be movie stars?
Yeah.
Yay! Can you imagine when you're in 5th grade? How tall do you think you'll be in 5th grade?
I think I'll be as tall as this room.
Now, before I tell you what it is, I need to ask you, do you remember?
Yes, I do.
This year's movie has been in the works for 5 years. What is our movie about? Kaylee, would you stand up and tell the group, if you remember?
The Time Capsule. So we buried a time capsule 5 years ago, and then it's something about time travel or something like that, I'm pretty sure.
Oh my gosh.
And now in 5th grade, as a couple of you remembered, you're going to be digging it up. Well, here we are, back at the place that we left off 5 years ago. We're here right in the spot where we buried the time capsule.
Lights, camera, action! We buried it on our last. Well,
The first blooper! I love
Yay.
it! That's great. Can you do more of an actual hug? Right?
oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, I think that, yeah.
All of our classmates are trying. Oh, dang it.
It's only 9 o'clock in our time. I said in our time.
Oh, right. It's only 9 o'clock here. Everybody ready? And action. Action.
Oh no, it's not working. We need to get. Oh, dang it.
It's not opening. Yeah.
We came to see the time capsule. I
Our
can't really say
time
that.
capsule.
Yeah,
Say it over again. Capsule. Capsule.
But our job here is finished. We came to see the time. Thanks. You're gonna be at school. No.
You're gonna grow up.
You're gonna be at school.
Okay. So just right when I walk in,
Yep.
instead of going up or down like a regular elevator, we're gonna.
It's okay.
Instead of going up or down like a regular elevator, instead of going up or down like a regular elevator, we'll go back.
Start again.
Now.
Entering the time coordinates.
Yes, I forgot. Okay.
Cut. Wait. Go back. You got to come in together. You can't. There can't be that big of a lag. This is really tough, isn't it? This acting thing. It is October 16th, and we are lining up, getting ready to film the scene for digging up the time capsule. Pretty exciting day. All right, here we go. So all of you should be looking at Connor as he digs, looking excited and interested. Ready, Connor? Action.
What is it? What's inside?
All right, Kaylee, ready? Action.
Oh, what is that? Oh my gosh, what is that?
Kaylee, ready? 1, 2, 3, action.
Field day was so much fun.
Yeah, hit the camera.
Yeah, it's a long school year. Cut them some slack.
Are you okay?
Wish we could stay here, play dodgeball forever.
Oh, ow, hey. Who threw that?
So lightning quick, I never got hit.
Can you, I know it's kind of bright out, but can you open your eyes a little bit wider for me? Maybe kind of look over that way a little bit more if you need to. Yeah, that looked really good. And 1, 2, 3. Great job, guys. All right, we'll try it a couple more times till we get it.
Do you have to be so mean?
No, you can be loving and friendly when you say it. So it's October 24th, 2018. We're filming the Time Capsule, and my wonderful former librarian, Miss Murray, is here. And we came up with this idea that we got to put her in the movie because she was...
No, actually, he came up with the idea.
Well, I came up with the idea, but she went along with it.
This was the day. Ugh, I messed up.
It's okay. Action. So you start, Krista, with, it's late September. Ready, kind of leaning back a little bit, you're nervous, and action.
No, don't worry about us. We're just watching.
Oh, I remember now. It's our top 10 kinder. Oh, I remember.
Start again. It's okay.
It's okay, Matt.
Now?
It's okay.
It's our top 10 kindergarten memories. Action.
Ooh, I number one. Oh, God. I just like, ooh, I number one.
You made the bloopers.
What have we learned from this field trip through time?
There's a little quick pause there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. We gotta do it one more time. We gotta do it one more time. Kind of emotional, right? It's your last year here. So that's what I want to see in your faces. Nothing cheesy. I want it heartfelt. So bring that into. I know you're not saying anything, but you can do a lot just by your reactions here. Okay, hands up, hands up.
3, 2, 1. No.
No. Action. That's right.
As soon as it moves, I'm gonna go, okay?
No. Soon. All right.
Hey, Colton.
Action.
Hey, buddy.
Okay. What could possibly...
Nope. That's
He said right.
Okay. Action.
The worst thing that could possibly happen just happened.
Yeah, you gotta look back up there, remember? I know, it's weird.
Do you go to school here?
We do. We're 5th graders.
Trying to crack you up, but it didn't work.
It about got me.
Yeah.
I was in the letter.
I remember an older girl.
No, we were only gone 5 years.
It all looks so dark and scary in here.
You keep saying in here. That's not what I want you to say. It all looks so dark and scary, period.
She actually say Miss Smack?
So we've been making movies at Sageville for a while now, and this honestly is the first time ever that, what has happened here, Elizabeth?
Nothing. A shirt fell on the toilet.
You were getting changed into your movie costume and it fell where again?
In the toilet.
You managed to drop your movie shirt in the toilet. On 3. Ready. Hang on, make sure the focus is good. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now all of a sudden, pause. Yep, slowly lift them out.
Oh my God.
So to start with, everybody's looking really upset. And Action. Wait, no yawning.
What have we done?
Don't do that.
All right, ready, buddy?
Yep.
And action. 1, 2, 3.
Were we supposed to be shy?
Yeah, so I did the 3, Nathan, you gotta kind of look disappointed, all right?
Gotta go.
Let's try it again. Try it again. This is what we find? Try it
I
again.
can't do it without smiling. I remember everything else.
You gotta sound more upset, though.
This
is horrible.
Oh my God.
We've waited 5 years to dig this up, and this is what we found. 5 years.
Sorry. Action. All right, action.
They almost stepped on us.
That was awesome. That was really good. One more time.
She
was for me. I know. One more time. Ready?
Stop laughing.
Ready, ready, ready.
Can you believe this is our last year of middle school?
Middle school?
Oh.
Wow, that went fast, didn't
I'm
it?
kind of nervous about starting middle school.
Let's try that again. Might be a little too close to you. Action. Oh, try again. You alright?
Who put that door there?
Who put that door there? Action.
Yeah. And each group could go.
Start again. Action.
Sure, like the first day of
The first day of applesauce day. No. Sure, like the first day of school.
Actually, when you get to 5th grade, you'll have a really hard.
Let's try it again. That took too long. Yeah, it's okay. A little bit more. All right, ready, and action.
No, we can't. But memories. Memories travel through time.
Those two little poop heads. Tell you. Seeing myself at 5 years old, I really appreciate myself.
You appreciate yourself?
You don't know this yet, but you're gonna bury a time capsule.
Well, wait, what?
Almost longer than the entire recess. Action.
Remember what you said about sometimes when you dig something up, it's worth a lot? I think that's it.
No, and then Will, come back. Quickly, Will. And then.
Why did we talk so much?
That's the real question, isn't it?
Yeah, that is the real question, Sammy.
We're from the future.
Cut. Is that
That was
okay?
really hard.
Don't hit him.
This is so embarrassing.
Good. One more time. Is it? Wait, whoa, it's stuck. The hat is stuck too. We need to do a hat-ectomy. Dr. Allison. Paging Dr. Allison.
Is that going to go in bloopers?
And then we're going to put you here in this part of the frame. You'll say your line. You'll reach down with the crayon. And then look what happens here. The little you, the kindergarten Allison, you kind of look up a little bit there, right? So I think if we get the timing just right, it's going to look pretty cool. Action.
Haley!
I'm going to move it this way a little bit. I'm not quite sure if it needs to be there or... Let me, yep, you're good. Let me just kind of compare it to the picture here. All right, I'll do the sound effects so you both can react to it. So you're kind of looking around the room. Here we go.
Oh man, my.
You looked at the camera. Action.
Why not? Time travelers get hungry too, you know.
Pretty good. Let's try it again a little bit louder from you, Emma. Like kind of whiny too, kind of like complaining to Jacob. Time travelers get hungry too, you know. Right? That's what I want you to try to do. Okay, ready? And action.
Why not? Time travelers get hungry too, you know.
Yeah, and then after she says that, Hannah, you look at Emma and you kind of give a big nod, like you agree with what she says.
Time travelers, say that.
Time travels.
Travel. I can't say it.
Action.
Why not? Time travelers.
Let's start again.
This can't be. What's happened to Sageville?
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, wow.
Nathan, Nathan. All right, are you ready? Quiet.
Oh. Oh.
Ready, Nathan?
Why do you do this to me?
Maybe have the yardstick up so I can see a little bit better. There you go. All right, no smiles. Stern expressions, scowling.
Best thing was going outside in the snow.
Yeah, that was fun. What's the worst thing?
It is March 12th, and we are about to film the final shot for the movie. We're going to do this time travel scene today. Very exciting. Are you two excited?
Yeah.
Yes. We started this like 5 years ago, and now bringing it across the finish line.
Who are you? 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 What's your name? What's your name? What's your name anyway? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? What's your name? Do I know you from somewhere? 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 Do I know you? Do I know you from somewhere? Do I know you from somewhere? Do I know you? Do I know you from somewhere? Are we related? Are we related? Are we related? Do you go to school here?
Okay, Kyle, you try it.
Do you go to school here? 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 Why are you 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 here? What do you want?
Can you be a little louder?
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
Good, again.
What do you want? What do you want? You look very old. You look very old. You look very old. You look very old. How old are you? Are you like 57? How old are you? Are you 67 or something? How old are you? Are you 50 or something? I love kindergarten. I love kindergarten. I love kindergarten. I love kindergarten. I love it. I love it. I love it. Do you need our help? 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 Do you need our help?
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
So look at each other, and then look back at me and say,
I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. I have no clue. Don't ask me. I don't have no clue. Don't ask me. I'm just a kid. Don't ask me. I have no clue. Don't ask me. I have no clue. Don't ask me. I'm just a kid. Don't ask me. I'm just a kid. Don't ask me. I have no clue. I have no idea. 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 I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What are you looking for? What are you looking at? What are you looking for? What are you looking for? What are you looking for?
You try it, Kyle.
What are you looking for? I never heard of that before. I never heard about that before. I never heard of 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 it. Why are you acting so weird? Why are you acting so weird? Why are you acting so weird? You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. I think it's outside. 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 Yeah, I think we buried it out there. Yeah, we buried it out there. Yeah, we buried it outside. Yeah, we buried it out there. I think we buried it out there. Yeah, we buried it out there. Why do you need it anyway?
Hey guys, pretend like I'm not here. Just keep talking and stuff, okay? This is for the video that we're doing.
Okay. Okay. Wait. Where's the key? No. Hey guys, what's he doing? Hi. Hey, you stop. You stop. You stop. Come on, guys. What are we even talking about? You're sweating.
Oh my, I don't like that.
Where did we bury it?
Go ahead, walk in. And then I'll stop and look at my hand. Stay over here, guys. Stay over here. Over here. You can talk to each other, but you can't look in the camera. All right?
Can we write something?
You can actually write something, yeah. And Maggie, you can look right through here, okay? Okay, go ahead. Action. Just be sure not to look at me. You can look at each other and talk.
You can erase it. Okay, I know what it is. I see. Mom. And. Okay. What the? Come on. Mom. I can't. I don't know how to spell ball. I'm just trying to spell old bubble nuggets. That's so funny. I don't want to say that again.
And now I'm making a shark top. Don't make a shark.
Electricity. Big banana. Green stinks.
That's what ice cream.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Before yesterday, before yesterday I went to school. Before yesterday, I went in my pool. Right, I did. My pool. I dumped her underwater. One time I just jumped in the pool. I was like, I will like had a no clue and I keep tripping over the pool edge, so it keeps falling underwater, and then you would never get up. Oh God! All right. That was good. Rock and roll. That is rock and roll.
You can talk.
Let's go to the pool. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's rock it.
That's not big. That's not really big. I'm making them in the summer breeze. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On this.
What's going on here? What's going on here? You gotta be kidding me.
And then your turn, Nathan.
It has a, wait, what?
It has a it has a bunch of neat stuff in it.
It has a bunch of neat stuff in it.
Oh, yeah!
Got it.
All right, ready? Let's try it again.
Back up.
And action.
Oh. Yeah, stay back.
Okay, good. Everybody step back like you were before.
Back to your spot. Come on,
We're gonna
guys.
put the
Back
time
to your
capsule
spot.
back in. All right, ready, Elizabeth? And action. Good. Elizabeth, pick that up. I want you to do that one more time, okay? Can you reach it? Okay. Here we go. Ready? Everybody's looking at Elizabeth. Action. All right.
I don't want you to. Can you stay? Where are you going? Where are you going? Why do you have to leave?
What do you remember most about kindergarten?
I remember we always had tally lines, and we had a chart counting every day we did. I loved applesauce day and Polar Express and 100th day of school. And I get to play with my friends.
What were some of your favorite activities or favorite memories of kindergarten?
That we did applesauce day.
Did you make applesauce? Was that difficult?
No.
Did it taste good? What were some things you learned when you were in kindergarten?
Math.
What else?
Science.
All right, we've got a couple of our 5th grade actors here from the Time Capsule. We have Colton and we have Annalise.
Hello.
And I thought it would be kind of interesting to sit down for a few minutes and talk to 2 of our 5th graders who have been a part of this project, pretty much since day one. And I wanted to get their thoughts on what they thought about making the Time Capsule. So I guess either of you could start. I mean, how far back can you remember? Let's start with that. Like, what's the first thing you remember about doing this project?
Well, we did it in kindergarten is when we started. I personally started in 1st grade because I wasn't here in kindergarten.
Right.
So then, I just remember you had 6 of us in a room and you gave us random questions to ask each other. And a funny thing that I remember is that one of the questions was, what's your favorite food?
Right.
And I said really funny, Oreo cookies. And I said it funny.
All right. And just try to be natural and don't look at the camera. Action.
I'm in kindergarten. Okay. I'm in kindergarten too. What's your name? How old are you? 6. What do you like? And I like the subject. What's my favorite thing? Okay, me too. So on? You know what you're going to say? Yeah. I do a bus. Oreo cookies. It's gonna be really fun. I think that when we dig up the Time Capsule, it's gonna be a long, long time before we dig it up. Yeah, I'm gonna dig it up on the 1st day of school. I'm gonna dig it up on the 2nd. Okay.
And then now talk about what you think you might be like when you're a 5th grader.
Really huge. I think I might be kind of tall. And I might be kind of old.
Can you say, when I'm in 5th grade, I'm going to be really old? And you're talking to him.
When I'm in 5th grade, I'm going to be really old.
I'm glad we could make you a part of this and make it sort of look like you were here in kindergarten, even though you weren't. What about you, Annalise? What do you remember kind of back at the beginning?
In kindergarten, I think there was this one scene where we were taking a picture, and there was somebody said 5th graders get out of the picture or something like that. But the other day we looked back on me when I was in kindergarten so I could do a voiceover. I did not remember that.
Yeah.
But that one and bearing the time capsule, those are the main ones I remember.
Yeah, that's neat. I mean, I know a lot of the 5th graders have not remembered much of anything from the kindergarten footage, and when they've seen little pieces of it, they kind of are smiling and laughing a little bit and kind of enjoying seeing what they look like and sounded like in kindergarten. You guys have grown a lot. I mean, in just 5 years, you're obviously taller and voices have changed and everything. So let's jump ahead. So 5 years later, you're in 5th grade, and at the start of the school year, back in August or September, we had a big meeting, and I told everybody what the movie was going to be about. And what kind of went through your mind when you realized what we were going to be embarking on this school year?
I was thinking, okay, I need to figure out this movie since he's not going to tell us the script. I'm just going to try and figure this movie out before it's even out.
And that's an interesting point. In all the other Sageville movies that we've done, the 5th graders have either helped to write it or not, but they've always had a copy of the script in their hands. And this movie was different. I didn't give any of you a script ahead of time because we wanted to sort of keep it a surprise and keep it secret. And I wanted you guys to be
trying to figure
surprised along with everybody else. I didn't want you to know all the little surprises and different fun things that are going to happen. But yeah, as you started to think about, okay, now we're going to finish this in 5th grade, any other thoughts that came to you? Like, were you excited? Were you worried? Were you nervous? I mean, what were some of your emotions?
I was excited to see like other people when they were in kindergarten because I didn't remember that I had filmed on the green screen. But when you said we didn't get a script, I was kind of confused. And like when you said we didn't have to bring in like costumes, we just wore normal clothes. Then I started to like figure it out and understand.
Yeah, and this was also a unique project for Sageville because it's the first time you're not playing characters.
Yeah.
You're playing yourself, right? You're playing you. And so that was what I told all of you folks at the beginning was just act natural, like act how you how you think you would respond in this situation because you're not playing somebody different, you're playing you, and nobody knows you better than you. Yeah, so we start filming the time capsule back in September, and Annalise, you were actually you were there for the first day of filming, right?
Yeah.
We had to film things out of order for this movie because it had to match the weather, it had to match the seasons. So we had the scene in kindergarten where you buried the time capsule, and we actually filmed that, I want to say, in April or May of kindergarten. So everything was green and looked very nice out. We had to get that scene done at the beginning of the year before the leaves changed. And so can you talk a little bit about that? You and Callie and Nathan were the first 3 to film that outdoor scene.
Yeah, well, it was like weird because nobody was there. You were just imagining it, and like it's like I wanted to see what actually was going on then, but like I have to wait until the movie comes out.
Right.
But like as we were like going up the stairs and stuff, I was thinking like what is it gonna look like and like.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to remember. I think maybe I had some photos printed out. I
Yeah.
may have showed you some black and white pictures of kind of where the kindergartners were at on that hill when they buried the time capsule, trying to give you guys some kind of reference so that you didn't have to completely imagine. You know, you had a little bit of a starting point there. And then, you know, you bring up a good point about having to imagine. A lot of this stuff this year was use your imagination. Colton, can you talk about that? Because you had a couple experiences where you had to do that.
So, in the movie, there's 3 of me. Kindergarten me, future me from tomorrow, and then present me. And
Annalise is going, what? She doesn't know about all that yet.
Okay,
But
so
that's okay.
we did a split screen. So let's say right here is the split screen. So I have to stay on this side of it and talk like whatever I'm supposed to say. And then a scene in the movie is I have to fist bump right up next to it and time it with the other. When I'm on the other side, I have to do the same thing.
And I have to say, I have to give you credit, Colton. That scene that we did by the elevator was one of the trickiest things we did in the entire movie. And you, somehow, you were able to like understand what you needed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a very abstract, weird thing where you, first of all, had to pretend like you were talking to yourself, and so you had to look at, you know, nobody, and then you had to interact. You had to pause. You had to respond to questions, and then you had to do this fist bump. Which I think it turned out really well, but it wouldn't have turned out well if you hadn't have been in the moment, you know, and had been able to do all that. So that was great.
Yeah. And then the kindergarten me, I walked over to and said hi to and talked to for like 4 minutes and then left.
Right.
See it?
Yeah, and you'll see that when you see the movie. We're recording this in March, so the movie is still not out yet. But when you see it, you know, hopefully you'll like the way that turned out.
Yeah. And this will be after the movie, by the way.
Right. Yeah. So let's look at the bigger picture. All right. I mean, the time capsule. When this is said and done, when it's all over, what does this kind of project mean to you?
Well, it's I'm gonna remember it for sure because it started when we were in kindergarten and now it came all the way to 5th grade, and it's like kind of the whole time we've been here, we've been working on it. So it's not like all the other movies in the past where it was just 5th grade. It's something I'm gonna remember.
I'm going to remember it, no doubt in my mind. And it's also kind of made me think about what I want to be in the future. Because before I wanted nothing to do with making movies or anything like that. And now that I've actually, made one, I kind of want to be an actor when I grow up.
Very cool. Very cool. You discovered some skills and talent and interests that you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Do you think that doing a project like this, is this something that, I mean, obviously you're going to remember it right here and now, but is this something you think you'll look back on in the future?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, it would be cool to see ourselves, not like when we're older, to see ourselves as younger, because now we're seeing ourselves in kindergarten. So you kind of see your whole life being spread out. So it'd be cool to see all of the memories and childhood.
And I know now you feel like, you're in 5th grade and you feel like you're like as old as you're going to be, but obviously you're going to keep getting older. And what's super cool is, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, you'll look back and not only will you have this memory of yourself in kindergarten, but it will be like 5th grade too. Mm-hmm. And you'll look at yourself in 5th grade and think to yourself, wow, look how young I was even then, So it's kind of a bookend. It kind of shows the beginning of elementary school and the end at the same time.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about how you're going to look back on this experience?
I'm actually going to be serious about this. I might bury a time capsule and then put the movie inside of the time capsule. And then I'll dig it up in like 10 years, 5 years, and just watch the movie and see if I forgot about it or not.
That's a cool idea.
We're special, I guess, that we get to do this. Like, not everybody gets to be in a movie. I mean,
they're
even
in 5th grade.
Yeah, and it's a homemade movie, too. It's not like
Iron Man. I know a quote that she says in the movie. The time capsule that we buried was not the real time capsule. We were.
Let's talk about that. And this won't spoil anything because people will see this after the movie. It's actually the key line in the whole thing. I don't know if you know that, Annalise, but to me, like, every movie has to build to some moment that's emotional or has some kind of meaning to it, And as I was writing the time capsule, the original draft, which I had before the school year started, was you were going to open the time capsule and you were going to actually find like 6 or 8 objects that you then had to go back to kindergarten and figure out what those objects meant. But I couldn't come up with anything that had any real meaning. I didn't want to just pick 5 or 6 things and say, this means something, because it's like, who am I to choose those, right? Mm-hmm. You all have different memories of being younger, and your own memories are in your own heart, and they're all different. So anyway, all of that led me to changing the script, and your scene at the end where you're standing there in the rain, maybe talk about that a little bit, because that was a key moment in the whole story.
Yeah, it was hard to remember everything, but like you had to be like, you couldn't make it be like cheesy. You had to be like realistic, and like you had to talk to people that weren't actually around you. Yeah. But I meant it. Like I agreed with it, and I wanted it, and I liked it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the line, I think it was something like, this isn't the time capsule. We are. What does that mean? What do you think that means?
We hold the memories, so we're like a time capsule because we're holding memories. I still kind of want to know what's in the time capsule. Time capsule? I don't know what that is yet.
Well, it was a challenge, but it was definitely worth it in the end.
Yeah. I loved making the movie.
How is that possible?
Well, you just stood there like the rest of us, smiled and said, "Jeez."
No.
And we look older than the rest of you. In fact, I'm wearing the same clothes. Weird.
Probably just a trick photo. Yeah, I bet Mr. Dyer just did it on his computer.
But it's buried in the ground for 5 years. And I came here in 3rd grade and Kylie in 4th.
You take care of that problem we discussed.
All the way to the end of the year.
Great idea.
That way we won't run into each other.
Or cause the teachers to suspect something.
What if a teacher spots us and asks who we are?
Just say we're kindergarten helpers from 5th grade.
What a genius.
That works well.
Boy, I'll say, she didn't even ask why we weren't in class.
Our secret is safe.
Speaking of which, that's another problem.
What do you mean?
If we all leave to go into the past, won't our teachers wonder where their entire 5th grade class went?
Remember earlier when I asked Colton from tomorrow if he figured out a problem? That was it.
Go peek inside the classroom.
That's us.
How can that be? But we're wearing different clothes. How could there be 2 of us?
Just like there were 2 of me. Today's Friday, right? That means Colton from tomorrow is actually from
Saturday.
Yep, and he brought all of his classmates back in time from Saturday to Friday to fill in for us while we're in the past. Then when we return, they'll go back to Saturday.
They're giving up their Saturday to cover for us? That's really nice of them.
You mean that's really nice of us? We're giving up our Saturday tomorrow to be in school today to cover for ourselves.
Oh man, I knew there was a catch. I don't want to be in school on a Saturday.
I am so confused.
Jacob, what would you tell yourself then if you knew what you know now?
What do I know now?
Look at me. I was so good at dodgeball. I was so lightning quick, I never got hit.
Never.
We'll never forget this school.
Memories travel through time. Small memories that matter, that affect the course of history and make us the people we are.
Memories of sunshine on the playground.
Stretching for things we can't quite reach.
Until one day, we can.
Laughter and smiles, the smell of apples and cinnamon in the fall.
Coloring with crayons.
The ordeal of snow pants and the joy of making snow angels. Wet mittens, construction paper, glue and glitter. And above all, the things we learned and the friendships we made. These things and so many more we remember. Too many good memories to fit inside a time capsule. So instead, we carry them with us, not buried in the soil, but cherished in our hearts. As we head into the next chapter of our lives to discover what comes next.
And I like the sunset.
What's my favorite thing
for lunch? Is that what you're going to say? Yeah.
Oreo cookies. I think that when we dig up the time capsule, it's gonna be a long, long time before we dig it up.
Yeah, I want to dig it up on the first day of school. Really huge.
I think I might be kind of tall, and I might be kind of old. I don't know.
keep changing it a little bit.
That's okay. You can change it a little bit, whatever sounds natural. Okay, ready, smiling, and kind of looking like in wonder, like you're looking at yourself, right? This is pretty cool. Action.
I probably shouldn't be talking to you right now, but you'll probably forget about this whole thing by lunchtime. So, hey, what's your favorite thing to eat for lunch?
Kind of smile and nod as he starts to talk. Good.
I probably shouldn't be talking to you right now, but you'll probably forget about this whole thing by lunch. Hey, what's your favorite thing to eat for lunch?
What's my favorite thing for lunch?
Oreo cookies.
All right, here we go. Everybody ready?
Yep.
And action. You can point a little bit. Kind of turn, look at each other. You're happy, you're smiling. I mean, this is a good memory. Okay, good. One more time, and then I think we got it.
It sounded like you were crying. You're like...
She's getting very emotional here.
Seeing a green screen is very emotional for you.
It is, isn't it? Look at those great memories. Green. Wasn't that great? That was a great day when everything was green. Okay, here we go. Remember, you're kind of sneaking in a little bit quieter, a little bit slower. Action. And cut. It's a wrap for today. All right, movie stars, good job. So talk about the scene we just finished up here. Who wants to say something?
We were going to look at us as kindergartners digging either up.
Yeah.
Burying the time capsule.
Burying the time capsule.
Yeah.
But really, Mr. Dyer just kept it in his room.
It's a coffee can. Yeah. All right, you guys did a great job today. Thanks much. Okay, here we go. Focus, out of breath, and action.
Oh no, it's not working. We need to get. Oh, dang it.
It's not opening. Yeah. So you say, oh no, it's not opening. We're gonna be trapped in the past if we don't get back in time. Okay, try again.
Oh yeah, let's go back.
All right. So you look worried, look stressed out. Okay, ready? Totally serious now. High drama. Action.
Oh no, it's not working.
It's not opening.
Not opening.
Try again.
Wait, what is it?
Oh no, it's not opening. We're gonna be trapped in the past if we don't get back in time. Okay. Focus and action.
Oh no, it's not opening. Forget it. It's not.
And action.
We don't have to bury our memories. We can take them with us.
Yep, just make sure you say, we get to take them with us.
We get to.
It's like, we don't have to bury our memories. We get to take them with us. Yeah. Okay, here we go. And action.
We don't have to bury our memories. We get to take them with us.
That was nice. One more time. And action.
We don't have to bury our memories. We can take them with us.
So, on 3. Ready. Hang on, make sure the focus is good. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
That did not work.
Okay, cut. Well, I think it worked enough. I think we got what we need. I can't play back the actual on 3. Are you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, in the scenes here. All right, so it is October 22nd, and we're filming a little dodgeball scene here, right, Micah? Mm-hmm. Can you kind of tell us how we're kind of recreating this dodgeball game that you guys played in kindergarten? So how are we pretending like this is a real dodgeball game? How are we faking it?
By somebody we pretend like the 3 other people are throwing balls and pretend we're actually in a dodgeball scene.
Right. So 5 years ago you guys played dodgeball, and now today we're kind of doing the other side of it, where you get to be competing against your kindergarten selves. Is that a little weird?
Yeah, kind of.
Are you able to kind of use your imagination and pretend that you're much shorter and you're on the other side of the dodgeball game?
Sort of.
Do you remember doing that scene back then?
Nope.
No.
I do.
5 years ago. You remember, Marshall?
Yes.
What do you remember about it?
So, we were basically 2 classes together versus the staff.
Right. Yep, it was
So-
field day, wasn't it?
Yes. And it's always the staff versus the kids,
Right.
and that will never ever change.
Sageville tradition, right?
Yes.
All right, let's get on with the filming. Here we go. You guys ready?
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Mike is going to say his line, and then you guys are in charge of throwing dodgeballs. So here we go. Ready, Micah? And action.
Wish we could stay here, play dodgeball forever.
Oh, ow, hey. Who threw that? Cole.
Hey, did I do a dodgeball?
Micah, are you all right?
Throw it in front of his face. Help! Can get the can out? But I ended up doing
Okay, good. It is March 15th, and we have returning student Landon here with his dad, Mr. Freiberger. Great to see you guys. And we are about to shoot a scene. We've got a little iPad here to help us out, and we're going to show you how we are creating this scene to show Landon interacting with Landon.
The best thing was going outside in the snow.
Yeah, that was fun. What's the worst thing?
Doing lots and lots of work.
What kind of work? What did you find most difficult?
It was difficult cutting.
Well, I'm sure you'll get better at using those scissors as your hands get bigger.
It was difficult staying in lines. So I tried and I did it.
Good for you, pal.
And then walk, yep. You can make yourself whine a little, and then Emma says, put your hands on your hips. You go, time travelers get hungry too, you know. Okay? Ready, girls? Looking at Jacob. And action.
Why not? Time travelers get hungry too, you know.
Pretty good. Let's try it again, a little bit louder from you, Emma. Like kind of whiny too, kind of like complaining to Jacob. Time travelers get hungry too, you know. Right? That's what I want you to try to do. Okay, ready? And action.
Why not? Time travelers get hungry too, you know.
Yeah, and then after she says that, Hannah, you look at Emma and you kind of give a big nod like you agree with what she says. All right, let's try it again. Looking at Jacob. Action.
Why not? Time travelers get hungry too, you know.
Yeah, and then don't forget to like look at her and nod. Can you make the word not louder? Like go, why not? Like drag it out more. Why not? Okay, ready? Facing Jake. And action.
Why not? Time travelers.
Okay, let's start again. That's all right. That's all right. Try it again. Ready? You're getting really close to the camera. Back up more towards the green screen. That's good, girls. And action.
Why not? Time travelers have to eat too, you know.
That was good. That wasn't quite the way it was written, but that worked fine. So let's do one more. This time, girls, do it however you want. Okay? Do it however you want. Ready? Looking at Jacob. Looking at Jacob. And looking kind of disappointed because he said you're not going to eat the applesauce, right? Here we go. Action.
Why not? Time travelers have to eat too, you know.
That was like awesome. That was perfect. Great job. All right, now, Jake, let's get you back over here. And you're facing the girls. And let's actually do a different angle here where I'm going to have the girls turn and face the green screen. Hannah, you're right here. I'm going to put you here, Hannah, right here. And then Emma, you're on the right side of her, but you're facing Jacob. So you turn around. Turn all the way around, girls, like yeah, there you go. And you're a little closer together. Jacob, come this way a bit more. That's good. And then, so Jacob, they kind of convince you. So you look at them and you kind of think about it for a second and you go, good point. and then you're going to walk over that way. And that's going to lead into the scene where you pick up the applesauce. Okay, which we already did that, so you don't have to do that again. Can you go a little bit further in that way, please? One more step. That's good right there. So both you girls are looking at Jacob, trying to convince him that you're right about this. Jacob, you're just going to kind of pause and think about it, and then go, kind of take, like, let out a breath, go, good point. And then you just turn and walk over that way. Okay? Ready? Looking at each other. Action.
Good point.
Cut. Good. Now I realize, girls, you probably should follow him. So not yet, not yet. So when we do the next take, he walks, and then you two kind of look at each other like, let's go get some applesauce, and then you follow him. Okay? Jacob, back where you were before, without the yawn. Okay, here we go. Everyone's looking at each other, and action.
Good point.
That was awesome.
I don't know.
I can't believe that's my voice.
You remember doing that?
No.
You were in kindergarten, and that's exactly what you did.
Oh my gosh.
You don't remember it at all, huh? So you would have been in front of a green screen, Maggie.
I remember the
You
green
said-
screen.
Yep.
You
And
sound
so
so different.
Yep. So what we're doing now today is March 15th, and we are doing some audio dubbing. We are playing back some scenes from the Time Capsule, and I've got Maggie and Elizabeth here, and we're doing some re-recording. So we have to kind of fix up some mistakes, and otherwise try to make the sound better. All right. All right. Here we go.
Oh.
Do you remember doing that, Kelsey?
Mm-mm, not at all.
Yeah. So we were out in the trailer, green screen. and so today we're trying to kind of re-record some dialogue and try to make it all fit into our movie, The Time Capsule. So what do you think, like watching yourself when you were in kindergarten? What's going through your mind?
I was so tiny and I have a different voice.
But it's still you.
I know.
Hi, this is Jeff Dyer. I'm the writer-director of The Time Capsule and the technology coach at Sageville Elementary School. In actual Hollywood movies, they have these things called director commentaries, where the director talks through the movie and explains his or her thought process and how the movies were put together. I'm going to do something similar to that. I'm just going to record my thoughts on the making of the Time Capsule because this was such a unique project. Now, I don't expect that this is going to be very interesting for children, so feel free to fast forward, kids. But I thought I would record this, especially for the parents that might be interested in hearing how all of this was accomplished. So, to kind of start at the beginning, I have been making student projects with video for a long time. I originally taught at Fulton Elementary School and then came to Sageville after that. I had made 12 student movies at Fulton and pretty much was self-taught. I got a video camera when I was 15 or 16 years old. My father had bought me one for Christmas, and so pretty much from a teenager on, I was running around with a video camera in the days of VHS. Now, if you don't know what VHS is, look it up, Google it. But I was making these little short films for a long time. Most of them were pretty horrible, but I realized looking back that I was kind of teaching myself how to do this. Not that I'm a professional by any means, but I think I know just enough to be dangerous and just enough to make these projects hopefully work. Now, when I first came to Sageville, I didn't have the equipment I needed. I didn't have a camera or the software or even a computer to really handle doing these big projects. So I ended up writing a grant and was able to get the equipment relatively late during my first year at Sageville, which would have been 2012, 2013. That was the year we made Smart Alex, and that was kind of a last-minute thing. We kind of quickly started making that, I want to say, in February or March of that year, which is a really short window when the movie needs to be, done and released by June. So that was a fast production. Now the next year, 2013, 2014, was the year I was making art show, and that was a big project in and of itself. So we had started early in the school year planning that, getting all the art characters ready. And that was also the year that I finally decided to do this time travel idea. Now, I had had this for a long time in the back of my mind. Even back when I was at Fulton, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to use video essentially to make the ultimate special effect, which is showing how children age over time. And so I had this idea kind of kicking around in my brain for many, many years. And when I came to Sageville, there were the right combination of things. I knew that the students were basically had pretty much, would start in kindergarten and finish at Sageville in 5th grade, which isn't common necessarily at every school. But I did see that there was a lot of stability and consistency at Sageville, and that's one of the main ingredients that I needed to do this, because I would have to record the kids in kindergarten, and then kind of hope that most of them would still be there in 5th grade. And as it turns out, that did happen. We had about 50 students in kindergarten that year, and I think about 10 of them left over the span of 5 years, and then there were approximately 10 students that came to Sageville, between 1st grade and 5th grade. So I always knew we weren't going to have 100% of them, in the kindergarten and the 5th grade scenes, but it was too cool of an idea to pass up. So on August 20th, 2013, which would have been their first day of kindergarten, that is when I started recording. And a lot of what I was doing, a portion of what I was doing anyway, was for the Sageville News Network, the SNN videos. I'm always out there recording school events anyway, whether it's the first day of school, the 100th day of school, applesauce day, field day, all those kind of events. I was recording them anyway for the news show, but kind of in the back of my mind, I knew that I was going to be using a large portion of this for the Time Capsule movie. So I deliberately framed some shots in a way that would allow for future 5th graders to be in those scenes. I always knew I was going to use green screen, somehow, and put the 5th graders back in this old footage. I didn't know which 5th graders. I didn't even have a script or a story at the time. I just knew kind of this vague idea that they were going to, in kindergarten, bury a time capsule, and then in 5th grade, dig it up, open it up, and at the time, they were actually going to discover specific objects in that time capsule. I was going to have maybe 6 to 10 things that they pulled out of there, and they wouldn't have remembered what those objects were. And so that would have given them the reason to go back in time to try to discover what those objects meant. But the summer before their 5th grade year, as I was getting the script written up, it kind of dawned on me that I couldn't come up with any objects of real value that wouldn't be a letdown or a disappointment. Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody has different memories of school and kindergarten. Everybody has different fond memories. And for me to nail down, 6 to 10 specific things, they might have had value for some kids, but others, they would have had many things that they would have had more, meaning or more value. So it kind of occurred to me that the actual contents of the time capsule were not important. And that led me to change the script where they opened it, and spoiler alert if you haven't watched it yet, they opened it and, everything had been kind of destroyed over the 5 years. Water leaked in and most of the stuff was kind of wrecked. And I thought that had more power and more meaning, because then the students, any students watching it really, could kind of assign their own meaning to what's inside the time capsule. They could put in their minds, they could kind of put their own favorite things. And so that's, Alfred Hitchcock is known for having this device in his movies called the MacGuffin, which is some object they're searching for, and that object never really mattered all that much. It was just to give them a reason, to set out on that journey. And so that's kind of what I did. I was looking at the time capsule as my MacGuffin. It didn't matter what was in it. It was just going to set them on this adventure into the past. So anyway, I know I'm rambling a lot here, but my thoughts are kind of bouncing around in my head. During the kindergarten school year, I went around, recorded all these events. leaving places in the footage for the fifth graders to fit into. And I also, with the help of the two kindergarten teachers, Robin Foley, Kim Pape, they were awesome in being flexible and patient and cooperative with me. I explained to them my long-term plan, and I think they kind of saw how cool it could turn out to be. So they would allow me to pull students every once in a while. And, generally I would only take maybe 3 to 6 at a time and put them in front of a green screen. And I had no idea. I had no idea really who they were going to be talking to or the context of it. But I put them in front of a green screen, and I kind of fed them dialogue, like, look this way, look that way, nod your head, shake your head. And of course, the dialogue had to be very, very short. Like, what are you doing? Who are you? It had to be, very, very short sentences so that they were able to repeat it back with different expressions. So I did all that, and throughout the school year, stockpiled about 6 hours of footage, maybe 6.5. And then, I'm kind of anal retentive about this stuff. I was always fearful that I was going to lose the footage or I was going to forget where it was. And, if that had happened, the whole thing would have been kaput, because without that kindergarten footage, I really didn't have a story. So I backed it up, threw it on multiple hard drives, different computers, and different locations. I was always afraid that there would be a fire or a flood or, who knows, an EMP computer crash, and I would lose everything. So I had everything all backed up in different locations, and then I pretty much waited, sat back and waited for the years to tick on by. Now, I will say that the next school year, which would have been their first grade school year, there were a handful of new students to Sageville, maybe 6 or 8, and I thought, they're close enough in age to kindergarten at the beginning of first grade that maybe I could sort of get those kids in the movie, retroactively. So I pulled those brand new first graders, and at the very beginning of first grade, probably in the very first couple of weeks, I put them in front of green screen and had them, do different things and say different things. It was pretty minimal. I think I only did that maybe 1 or 2 days, and then kind of added that to the kindergarten footage. Now, funnily enough, of those first graders that came that school year, between first grade and fifth grade, all of them left again, with the exception of Colton. And Colton is, I think, the last one from that group, and so he does factor into the kindergarten footage, but he's the only one that came after kindergarten, And I always knew that kind of the downside of this was I always knew that there would be students that would come to Sageville in, say, 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade. And at that point, they would just be too big, too tall to match the kindergartners. So there would be no way I could go back, and add them in. That was a regret, and it was kind of unfortunate, but it's just the way it had to be. And so I told those new students, I'm really sorry that you're not in the kindergarten footage, but, that's just the way it worked out. And I tried to give them, a decent role as a 5th grader so that they could feel part of it and feel included. So flash forward to the students' 5th grade school year. The summer before they started 5th grade, I had a pretty arduous task. I had to go through 6 hours of kindergarten footage and try to figure out what was usable. I knew that there was no way I could, use all of it. You don't want to sit through a 6-hour movie. But there was a lot of things in the footage that I no longer needed. There were students who left, and not to be heartless, but the students that left Sageville and were no longer there, I was really going to downplay their time on screen because I had 50 other students to focus on, and that's difficult enough. So some easy cuts were when I had footage of kids that were no longer there. So most of them just got cut out immediately. One of my regrets, I knew that I wasn't going to do things quite perfectly, when they were in kindergarten. I knew that there would be things I would look back on and wonder, why did I do that, or why didn't I do that? And one of my mistakes was I had too few lines of dialogue. I had probably 20 or 30 kids come in front of the green screen and say kind of the same dialogue over and over again. and I don't know why I did that, except that I wasn't sure who was going to say what. And so as I was reviewing the footage, I had, let's just say I had maybe 6 kindergartners saying the words, "Who are you?" And I couldn't, once I got to making the movie, I couldn't, use all of those over and over again. I had to narrow it down. And so I had to go through and figure out, well, which kindergartners said it the best with their best facial expression or best voice expression, and then also try to balance the whole thing and make sure that they're all in there somewhere, right? So I went through the 6 hours of video, and I cut out the stuff I didn't need and couldn't use, and basically trimmed it down from 6 hours to about 1 hour. And even that was too much, because I knew that the entire finished movie would run approximately an hour. You don't want to go too much beyond that. And I think the final running time is about 70 minutes now. But I trimmed the kindergarten footage down to about 60 minutes. And then with that, I decided, well, how are we going to tackle the story? I knew that the 5th graders wouldn't all go back at the same time, because first of all, they couldn't all fit in the elevator, but more from a logistical standpoint, when I was pulling 5th graders to film, I knew that I would only be working with a handful of them at a time. There's no way I could corral 50 of them in every single scene. It would just be ridiculous. Now, they are all together, at the beginning and at the end, but throughout the story, I basically made it like a buddy movie where they team up and they go back in small groups. And that I thought would work pretty well, because then I could logistically, get 5 or 6 kids at a time, put them in a scene, and then get another group for a different scene. So I looked at it in kind of an episodic fashion. I looked at all the footage and figured out, well, let's put it in order. Let's make it, a journey through their kindergarten school year. So I started, of course, with the first day of school. And even though it wasn't the last thing we filmed, I decided to put the bearing of the time capsule on the quote-unquote last day of kindergarten. I thought that was kind of a fitting way for the journey to end. And then I had to figure out, the chronology of everything else, like what's going to be the second scene, the third scene. And I didn't want it to be boring or repetitious, so I tried to change it up a little bit. If there was, say, an outdoor scene at recess, I wanted to make sure the next scene was indoors. There, of course, were other things that kind of had to fall a certain way based on what the event was. So applesauce day, was in the fall. Field day is in the spring. So I kind of knew where all those pieces had to go. So I laid everything out in the software that I use, which is Adobe Premiere. And I had this timeline in the software where I can kind of put all the pieces in whatever order I want. It's kind of like a big jigsaw puzzle. So I finally, by August or September, had everything fit in the order I wanted it. And then I took about to wrapping up the script. So I went through, and at that point I knew who the 5th graders were going to be, which ones had left, and I was able to kind of break it down and write the script. So then at the beginning of the 5th grade school year, we had a large group meeting where we all sat down, and I announced what we were doing. And to my shock and surprise, a few of them remembered, but most of them didn't. Most of the 5th graders, didn't really remember what they did in kindergarten, or they had some very vague memories of what they did, but they really didn't. Now, there were some that remembered it was about a time capsule. There were some that had memories of doing this or that, but I would say a lot of them, were kind of forgotten really over the years. Unlike other Sageville movies where the students actually have helped to write the script, in the case of the time capsule, I had to write it myself, because it really wouldn't have had any benefit for them to write it. I mean, I suppose they could have helped with part of it, but I was kind of the only one who knew the full scope of this as far as what was happening in all the scenes and what I needed them to react to. So, and then the other thing is, I really wanted this to be a surprise for them. I wanted this to surprise them when they see it, and I wanted to try to keep the mysteries as long as possible. So there was a script, but I was the only one who had access to it. I would occasionally print out a couple of pages at a time and give them to the students when they were filming their scenes, and so they kind of knew what they were doing, of course, but they didn't always know the big picture of what the whole thing was about. The other challenge of filming during the 5th grade year was knowing that there were certain boxes I had to check off, and I had to do it in a certain sequence. Now, a lot of times when I do these movies, we film out of sequence anyway, just based on the availability of students or where I'm filming or what rooms are available or all that kind of stuff. But that was never more so the case than with the time capsule, because there were a lot of outdoor scenes that had to match up with stuff we had filmed in kindergarten. Starting with the time capsule itself, I knew that the movie was always going to open with the 5th graders digging up the time capsule. So we had filmed the kindergartners burying it in May of 2014. So obviously it was green out and it looked very, very much like spring. And I had kind of a short window at the beginning of the 5th grade school year. I knew that we had to get that outdoor scene shot, relatively early, because once the leaves start to change or God forbid, the snow starts to fall, I would then have to wait and do that 5th grade scene in the spring, which, if you know me, I like to get these things finished as early as possible because I do get a little stressed out. So I knew that we would have to film that in, September, early October. And then other scenes around that where like the 5th graders are walking in to the kindergarten burying of the time capsule scene, I knew that would have to be done at the beginning of the school year. So I kind of mapped out a plan of what needed to get done when. A lot of the indoor scenes, I knew I could do those at any point. And the big snow scene, which kind of takes place in the middle of the movie, that was challenging because for the longest time we didn't have any snow during the 5th grade school year. But then, then the snow came and it really hit hard. And then it got frigidly cold, so we couldn't be outside, and we had to kind of wait for the sky to be blue and sunny because it had to match the footage of the kindergartners, in the snow at recess. So there were all these little factors at play where I had to try to make the footage match from kindergarten to 5th grade. Now, as far as the story goes, there was one scene which you'll see in the deleted scenes at the beginning of the movie, where I came up with this kind of elaborate excuse or way for the 5th graders to cover for themselves. They had brought all of their 5th grade class from the next day back in time to hang out at the school while they went into the elevator and time traveled. And it was kind of an added on scene at the beginning, and I realized we just didn't need to do that because it was going to slow things down and it was going to kind of bring the movie to a stop. I wanted to get them time traveling as soon as possible to get the story rolling. So that entire scene, which unfortunately I spent a number of days recording, got cut. And there are other scenes too. You'll notice bits of dialogue and things that just didn't fit or maybe were redundant or just not necessary. So I had to kind of trim it and keep it, moving as briskly as possible. One of the biggest challenges I faced technically was trying to put the 5th graders into this old footage. Now, there was some stuff that I shot on where the camera was on a tripod. And what I mean by that is the camera was stationary. It didn't move. That was easy, or easier, because if the camera didn't move, I could simply put the 5th graders in front of the camera and put the camera on a tripod, and then everything matches. You know what I mean? Like it matches from kindergarten to 5th grade. The camera's not jiggling or moving around. Unfortunately, that wasn't always the case. There was quite a bit of kindergarten footage that I had filmed where I was holding the camera, which is, handheld. And when you do that, the camera, there's little bumps and little shakes. And of course, the camera turns and pans and goes up and down and all of that. And I at the time, it didn't occur to me that would complicate things for me 5 years later. So what this all boils down to is during the 5th grade school year, I had to learn a whole new technique called motion tracking. And I have to give credit to my son, Noah, who kind of taught me how to do it. It's using a whole other bit of software called Adobe After Effects. And essentially what it is you, in the computer, you put down your your original footage, which was the kindergarten footage, and then you record your 5th grade footage, which had to be stationary. So I had to always make sure that they were that the camera was on a tripod, and that the 5th graders, that the camera wasn't moving as the 5th graders were acting. And so you drop both of those pieces of footage into the computer, and you set what's called a motion tracking point in the footage that moves. So in the kindergarten footage, I'd have to look in the background and find something, like maybe something on the wall or something that was prominent in the background. And then using the computer, I would kind of click on that one little point and then let the software sort of track the motion. And what it would do is it would kind of come up with a series of motions for however the camera moved. So if I moved the camera slightly to the left or slightly down or slightly to the right, it would mimic that exactly. And then it would take those attributes and assign them to the 5th grade footage, if that makes sense. And what it would do is it would kind of lock those two pieces of footage together so that the 5th grade footage would have the same slight camera moves that we had in the kindergarten footage. I know that it doesn't always look perfect. I don't have a $50 million budget like a lot of the Hollywood movies do, but it was the best I could do. And I think in many of the cases it turned out really well, and it looks pretty authentic. A lot of times when you're making a movie like this, things change. As you're working on them, ideas change, plans change. And there were a number of things that got moved around or got rewritten as we worked on it. I mentioned the deleted scenes, some things that got cut, but then there were some things that got added. I was happy that we could bring a couple of former Sageville students back, Landon and Sam, who had been at Sageville for a good portion of time and then ended up at a different school. Were able to come back to Sageville and kind of be incorporated into the movie. So that was a lot of fun. And then the other thing that was added in kind of late was the actual theme or the actual message of the movie. So I knew that they were going to change history in some small way, and that when they came back, Sageville was going to become Rageville, and it was going to be sort of this dark place. If you've ever seen It's a Wonderful Life, I was kind of inspired by that, where Jimmy Stewart comes back and finds his hometown is turned into this dark, evil place. That's kind of what inspired the Rageville scene. But I knew that it was going to be something small, and decided on this spilling of the principal's coffee as kind of a funny little thing that would have ultimately changed history. And in the original story, that getting her that cup of coffee back kind of corrected things. And the more I thought about it, it seemed a little anticlimactic. I thought, what we really need is a little emotional depth here at the very end. And relatively late in the production, after I had already started filming, I wrote this new scene where the kids are all out in the rain and the school isn't changing back, and everything is, it's sort of like darkest before the dawn. It's after 3:30. The elevator is shut down. They can no longer go back in time. And this notion occurred to me that memories travel through time. And that's a way that all of us can time travel, right? Without a time machine. And you can do it anytime you want. You can reflect and think back on memories from your past. And I thought, that's a really cool idea, and it takes things kind of to a different level, where it gives the students the power to remember happy memories, and almost by doing that, they bring back Sageville to the place that they remember it. And that's a little weird, it's a little esoteric maybe, but I thought that would be a cool way to end it. And that's where that whole scene came from, where Annalise, she's holding the time capsule, and she says the other key line, which is, this isn't the time capsule, we are. And to me, that's kind of the whole point of the thing, that the students can be their own time capsule, just like we can always be our own time capsule and remember the good times and remember those happy memories that you don't want to ever forget in your life. So anyway, if you've listened to me babble on this long, I think I will probably just wrap up and say that I'm very proud of these fifth graders. I'm proud of what they accomplished. I'm relieved and delighted that we were able to finish this and bring it across the finish line in the way we did. You know, I really did worry over the last 6 years that, you know, what if we weren't able to finish this project, and who knows, right? Who knows what factors could have brought about its demise, you know, whether it would have been a technical thing or the whole idea of it falling apart. So many things could have happened to bring this project to a screeching halt. So I'm thrilled that we were able to finish it. I hope that the project holds good memories and meaning for the students, the families, and everybody that sees it. And I thank you for listening.
When we were in kindergarten, we buried a time capsule filled with our most precious memories. Now, in 5th grade, we are digging it up to see what mattered to us then and what it means to us now.
I don't even remember what was inside the time capsule. Do any of you?
Now we'll never know. Too much time has passed.
We may have a way.
This isn't just a regular elevator.
It's a time machine.
What are we waiting for?
Let's go back to kindergarten.
Yeah!
Now entering the time coordinates for 5 years into the past.
Where are we? Don't you mean when are we?
Oh my gosh, look! We were so, short.
You look very old.
Well, that's just rude.
I think what we're doing is so important. Maybe one of the most important things we'll ever do here.
We would have forgotten so much. But now, we'll remember all of this the rest of our lives.
Everything that's happened from kindergarten to 5th grade, it all comes down to this. But the clock is ticking.
When we were in kindergarten, we buried a time capsule filled with our most precious memories.
I don't even remember what was inside the time capsule. Do any of you?
Now we'll never know. Too much time has passed.
You know how we've been staying in for recess all year?
What is it? It's a time machine.
We use the elevator to travel back to kindergarten.
And then we'll remember what we put in the time capsule.
Time travel is very dangerous.
We'll be trapped in the past and never able to return.
What could possibly go wrong?
There we are.
Aw, we were so cute.
I still am. Thank you very much.
I love kindergarten. I love it, I love it, I love it.
Now I understand why my teacher had gray hair.
I think what we're doing is so important. Maybe one of the most important things we'll ever do here.
This is the best applesauce I've ever had.
We would have forgotten so much, but now we'll remember all of this the rest of our lives.
Hey, Shorty, bet you can't hit me.
Oh! Oh no, what have we done?
We've been through a lot together.
Memories travel through time.